So yesterday I set a bit of a standard. I thought it was one where I couldn't get another story that would be as funny or funnier. Little did I know the New York Post basically said, hold my latte, because we've got a better story, and I'm not going to deny it. It's different. I am almost certain the majority of you are familiar with plastic surgery, and I don't judge those who pay for it themselves. I take issue with those who use the taxpayer to pay for it, especially with some of the bogus reasons, confidence being one of them. I don't think that's a taxpayer problem. But there are surgeries that exist, and they exist because they had to help someone look like the very best version of them they can look like, with assistance. One of those body parts is the vagina, because apparently there is a perfect version of it, and it can only truly be attained with either, I don't know, a labiaplasty, steaming, which I remember, Gwyneth Paltrow, that sounds soggy. The more recent one, a DIY method, isn't so much plastic surgery, but I kind of understand part of it. But at the same time, I'm sat back thinking, really? So as a means to tighten up the vagina, some women are using toothpaste. I assume as a complementary assist, they're going to use their electric toothbrush, because that thing is a multi-purpose tool. I'm not being sarcastic with that either. A consultant gynecologist for the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists has said that it is a myth that toothpaste will tighten the vagina, and that putting toothpaste into it or on the vulva would not only be uncomfortable, but it could also cause serious damage and disrupt the natural flora of the vagina, leading to the potential for infections like bacterial vaginosis and thrush. I would argue, because obviously this is what is really going through their heads, they know better than you, doctor. How dare you tell them what they stick in their vagina? And clearly you've never had one that's minty fresh. Why don't they just use mouthwash? Can they gargle that? Oh, now I've put that thought out there. I see that dark sense of humour has reared its ugly head. For the sake of health and safety, it is worth pointing out there are many different types of toothpaste. I personally use one which has a very high ppm, not recommended for anywhere else that isn't oral dental care. Some other toothpastes that I have used in the past have different types of material. For example, you have Aquafresh that has 3 different types of paste. One is gelatinous. Then you have others that have particles, bits. As if it wasn't uncomfortable enough using something for your mouth on your vagina with a complementary touch-up of the toothbrush. Bzzz. Now imagine that with sand, essentially. It will feel like sand anyway, because those parts aren't going to dissolve, are they? Because that would defeat the point of their purpose, to help clean teeth. Unless, of course, like the movie, your vagina happens to have teeth, in which case, go knucking futs. And if it's like the Coneheads, but obviously down there, get help, quickly. A medical doctor in Nigeria has said that he has seen a recent obsession in some women resorting to using toothpaste to tighten up down below. He went so far as to say that by using the dental product, it could leave women infertile. Now, if that is the end goal, well done. Achievement unlocked. You're now officially barren. With this particular doctor saying to the news agency of Nigeria, toothpaste is caustic and too abrasive for a sensitive body part like the vagina, and can destroy the organisms meant to protect the vagina from possible infections. When the vagina can no longer protect itself, the body is prone to infections, which could later destroy the tubes and block the chances of getting pregnant. Now, what we haven't discussed so far is what is inspiring some women to do it, and it is simply down to what they believe to be a weakening. But you don't need toothpaste for that. It's a muscle. If so far along and damaged, yes, surgical assistance can be granted, but there are exercises that do in fact help. Might I recommend sticking a stone up there with a piece of string and a weight at the bottom? That was a BuzzFeed video from a few years ago on a collaboration I did with Anna May Renee. I'll link it below it was quite something. Oddly enough, what I have just said comes in hand with what the Nigerian doctor, has said about people being body shamed by their partners and how they should be confident in their own skin. If your partner is insulting you for having a loose vagina, we can all safely say your partner is a bit of a dick. And while I can totally respect that the majority of adults cannot have a serious civil discussion in a couple where it doesn't end up becoming an argument, I'd like to believe if something doesn't feel right, one can simply talk about it if something feels wrong, and work together to resolve it. To assist, the exercises that should be considered would include yoga, pelvic floor exercises, and Kegels, all of which I'm sure could be done along with the rope and the weight and the stone thing, if that's your thing. However, if the problem is that it isn't the tightness, but instead how it appears outwardly to other people and possible suitors, male, female, or muggle, then of course we have a new problem entirely. Visuals are one thing, practical use is another. If you are obsessed with aesthetics, use the damn surgery and pay for it yourself. Please do not use Oral-B, Sensodyne, Aquafresh, Colgate, or my prescription toothpaste, or my bloody toothbrush. Seriously, do not use my toothbrush. Accompanying all previous advice given by the Nigerian doctor, he also said that to correctly check that the muscles are being exercised, women can place a finger or thumb into their vagina and squeeze the pelvic floor muscles at the same time. They should feel a gentle squeeze as the muscles contract. And it is possible to build pelvic floor muscles by doing 10 slow contractions and holding them for 10 seconds each. The doctor did continue to give great advice on this particular subject, and it should be taken somewhat seriously for those who are stupid enough to go out of their way to do what they think helps them when actually they're doing something that would actually harm them. And just to add to this, women, while doing it to make things tighter, guys are doing something similar to make it last longer, where some are actually rubbing toothpaste onto their penises so that their boner sticks around for longer. I can't be the only one thinking, you couldn't think to get yourself some Viagra? Or a ring? Wow. Budget boners. Interesting. This could, by the way, for some people that don't know, it could, because of the nature of the materials in toothpaste, lead to burns. So I would highly recommend not putting toothpaste onto your bell. Okay? Okay? Brilliant. This trend is believed to have come from a series of YouTube videos and Reddit posts, where this method, for boners and for tighter vaginas, was believed to have worked. Jose Barber, a YouTuber, claimed that it will crush premature ejaculation and erectile dysfunction without dangerous drugs, and you will last for 30 minutes longer. And to debunk that, a UK consultant pharmacist said, I'd urge anyone thinking of trying this rather worrying toothpaste technique to cease and desist, because it won't do anything at all to combat premature ejaculation or erectile dysfunction, despite the claims being made in these videos. The peppermint oils and chemicals in toothpaste include bleaching agents, which are extremely irritating to sensitive skin. This is where you risk burns, blisters, scarring, and of course damage to women should it get in there. And no, toothpaste is not a viable replacement for lubricant. Seriously. I see natural selection has taken on a new form. Oh dear. Budget boners though. That's an interesting turn of phrase. Never thought I'd say that. With the level of muppetry that I have presented with you today, I would very much like to know what you think of it. So please let me know down below. Before we finish, there is a new video on the Moistonia Live channel, 15 Days to Brexit, and I will be streaming over on Twitch at 7 PM GMT. So please consider joining me and following. I would greatly appreciate it as I try and hit 500 followers by the end of the year. So hope you all have a lovely Wednesday, and thank you very much for listening.